President Yudhoyono will officially announce the new lineup of his cabinet at some point later today. Preliminary reports suggest that 7 are out, 5 new ones are in, and 2 others will be shifted. Now, what's really surprising, though, is that the ones you'd think would definitely lose their job reportedly won't. And the ones you think have actually been doing a good job reportedly will lose their job. Political analyst Wimar Witoelar is back on our couch to give us his take on this reshuffling. Morning, Wimar.
Morning. I think you've said it all.
So, okay, surprising thing number 1. Hatta Rajasa, the incumbent transportation minister, he won't lose his job. He's getting shifted. He's going to become the state secretary. If
I were SBY, I would say he's incompetent. That's why all these crashes. But he's not immoral. He's not a bad guy. So let's just move him over. My question is, why don't we get a guy who's both competent and moral? There's so many people in Indonesia. But obviously the reason is, I guess he wants to maintain his connection with the Partai Amanat Nasional.
So he has a sort of quota, so to speak, to maintain at least one minister.
Obviously, the president doesn't think of cabinet performance. He thinks of quota to maintain his standing with the parties in his mistaken belief that it's essential to his survival, which is totally wrong if you ask me.
But it also seems like the position of state secretary, it's sort of like a demotion. I mean, we sort of saw that with Yusril when he went from justice minister to that. It was as if they were told to lie low. They had trouble before, now you still have a job, just lie low a bit.
That position is one of those which is defined by the user, how he or she handles it. It could be important or unimportant depending on the quality of the people holding the job. Yusril was mediocre, so it was a mediocre job. But we had a guy like Sudarmono, like him or not, he was very effective in the Suharto days. It became a very important position. So let's just see what Hatta makes out of it. But actually, he doesn't deserve an extension of his period. He's had his day.
Now, surprising thing number 2, Abdul Rahman Saleh, the Attorney General, he is outgoing. He'll be replaced by Hendraman Supanji also from the Attorney General's office.
I don't know, I just saw it on your television broadcast. So if that's true, I'm quite surprised because although Abdurrahman Saleh seems to be quite slow, but he is a good, clean man and he has a method about him. So releasing him to me is quite puzzling. But the more alarming thing is that his replacement is going to be his deputy from inside the ranks of the bureaucracy. And I always see that people from the bureaucracy do not have new solutions to offer. You need fresh approaches to the job of Attorney General, and you're not going to get that out of the bureaucracy.
Now, just your perception of things. Why is it? What's the reason behind it when a good guy gets the boot?
Maybe he was getting too good. Maybe he was becoming a threat to people who want to maintain their position. Because he's sort of a non-discriminating person, he will prosecute anyone, in any way according to his pace, according to his method. And it could be he's getting too close to the truth.
Well, maybe. He was famous for having that dissenting opinion, but he seemed to pretty much behave as a cabinet minister.
He has always had a good ethical position, but he has been disappointing in his speed. Now he's generating some speed. Just at the time when he is starting to get better, he gets removed, so it's a puzzle.
Now, a top Golkar official, Andi Matalata, he's getting a job as the new Justice Law Minister, replacing Hamid Awaludin. Is that surprising to you?
It's not surprising. Well, it is surprising that Hamid Awaludin would get removed because he's a bad egg in the cabinet, and SBY doesn't usually remove bad eggs. He tends to keep them. But okay, that aside, the replacement by Andi Matalata is not surprising because it has to be somebody from Golkar, although I don't know him. I cannot tell one Golkar from the other. They're all the same. Anyway, it's a Golkar guy in there. That's what SBY wants. He's just playing the cabinet like a cookbook recipe, a bit of this party, a bit of that party, mix it together, and he thinks it'll work. It won't if he doesn't shape up. It's SBY himself that's not shaping up in terms of getting more performance out of his government.
So Andi Matalata's professional background is probably...
It's just my ignorance, but he has a distinguished background in the realm of politics.
Right.
But that doesn't say he can be a good executive. There's so many...
He has a master's degree in law, but so does a lot of people.
Well, I have two master's degrees, which I don't use. I just, use my mouth nowadays. So degrees don't matter that much. It is just a reality that SBY is beholden to the political parties because he doesn't have any strength of his own. He doesn't perceive that his strength comes from the mandate of the people. He forgets it's the people who put him there and not the parties. The parties hid when he was a candidate.
So his thinking is still old school in a way.
Very much old school, very much jadul in Indonesia, they call it.
Overall, do you think this reshuffle is worth it? I mean,
Oh yeah.
You know, you only have 2.5 years to really prove themselves and make a change. I mean, is that really possible in 2.5 years?
Well, if you have 2.5 years to sink lower, you should try to reach out to some branch. And there are some good points. He did dismiss Yusril, he did dismiss Hamid, but one glaring omission from the ranks of the retired is Abu Rizal Bakri. That's the one guy that should have been dismissed. You know, forget about the other ones. He represents lack of compassion, not dealing with the social issues. He represents complicity between business and state. He is Mr. KKN. So why keep him there? And the public, is very disappointed with him. He knows that. He's gone around for days saying, I don't want to answer any questions relating to the reshuffle. I bet today he will.
Wimar, thanks very much.
Thank
It's
you.
always great having you on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks again.